As you know, this year the district changed its approach and doesn't have the pre-first program, but has the kindergarten intervention program. And during this initial startup year, which has been very successful, we had allocated one teacher to have an extra afternoon per week to consult, and that was Linda Tash, who was a former preschool teacher, pre-first teacher, excuse me. We do not need that .1, so that .1 will not be in the budget next year. And this is where we went through person by person and said, do we need this much? That may not be that person, but that position has been reduced. We thought long and hard about curriculum coordination in our district. And lessons learned, what worked this year and what didn't work. And the schedule at Chalk Hill for our curriculum coordinators who are half-time has allowed them, we've only asked them to serve K through 6 this year. They've really focused on K through 8 typically. We said focus on K through 6, which they've worked very hard to do. But we've also had a pilot program where we've asked our department chair of math, science, and language arts at the high school to assume the coordination 7 through 12. And feedback from both Jockey Hollow and the high school is it's been very successful. So we're proposing that we would continue that. That is a small stipend that would be negotiated for those 3 individuals with the MEA. The shift here is we're saying literacy and numeracy, literacy first, numeracy second, but numeracy, that we would increase that time and it would shift. This whole idea about intervention, helping every student, it's not an educator just sitting and writing curriculum and looking at things in an office. It's a person out in the classroom day in and day out, coaching teachers, helping teachers. Looking at making the math full-time, K through 6, and maintaining the science at the .5. So in terms of our system-wide, not many changes. I'm often asked about system-wide staffing and central office. And I'll hear, are we top-heavy in terms of administrators? You know, where do we have all these people that are in our rank and file? I believe we have a very lean and efficient central office. And if you look at this, outside of the superintendent, there are 5 full-time and 2 part-time administrators who oversee the operations of what will be next year a $50-some million business. I think that is a very good use of the human resources, and I think that we have a very talented cadre of individuals who serve this district. But I don't believe that we are top-heavy in terms of administrators. Additionally, as you go through each school, you can look at principals, assistant principals, dean of students. We are at the lower end of administration in any comparison I have done with other districts. So again, I think we're using our resources wisely. We're trying to get teachers in the classroom, and we're trying to make sure we have enough support to have efficient operations of the district. In terms of system-wide, because we're going into the details of other things, and you've seen the transportation costs and the energy costs, that was a very brief section, Chairman Trump. So I don't know if you want to pause. Please keep going. All right. Conceptually, your budget is your roadmap to what you want to accomplish in your district. And this is the framework based in research that all of education is working through right now. It means that children can learn, they just need more time. Tier 1 is every single classroom, it has to be a high-quality classroom that has regular education students, special education students, and that's your classroom teacher. Tier 2 is small group. Tier 3 is more individual intervention. We did an analysis to say, how are we doing in Monroe in terms of intervention? And I'll read you the numbers up here because I know on the printout some of the red got darkened. We have an amazing literacy program at the elementary. If you look at our student performance scores, grade 4, just about top of the state. Grade 3, right up there. amazing performance of our students. We put a lot of support. We put 9.5 full-time teacher, FTE is the equivalent of full-time teachers, in the 3 lower elementary, Fawn Hollow, Stepney, and Monroe L. In terms of math, we only have that little piece, 0.25 of the half-time math coordinator this year. So anything that is really, just barely in there is in red. Green is great, yellow is emerging, red is we really have a concern. We have not put the appropriate resources in those areas. Chalk Hill, or upper elementary, we have boosted up the literacy to 2.1. From last year to this year, there was an increase. So it is emerging. It is providing support. However, in math, it has 0.25, and you're looking at 1/4 of a teacher for 600 students. So we're not providing enough resources. Jockey Hollow is the most significant gap in terms of additional resources. We have a half-time reading teacher and no math support. So when we look at those student achievement scores and we say, gee, I wonder why, there is an impact about the level of resources. It is not an excuse. We all have very ambitious improvement plans. We're working very hard with our teachers. We expect growth. But for some students, unless we provide additional resources, they're not going to make the bar. They just need that time. They need that support. And at the high school, we have 0.2 of a reading teacher right now. It's actually one of our language arts teachers that is dual certified that teaches, I believe, 1 period to help students. That is the story. So when I heard, oh, we're having extra people, no. Trying to put a little bit of extra support in these areas in our schools.